Good greetings everyone, Rusty Dog here. Well, it seems we have an update from Frontier today regarding the December update and the fleet carriers. The upshot of it all is that the fleet carriers will not be coming in December, but they will instead be coming in the second quarter of 2020. So somewhere between April, May, June, somewhere inside that time we will be expecting, I hope, to see the fleet carriers. So why is this? Well, if we take a look at the forum post, we will see that I'm not going to read it all out, but basically what it is Frontier have decided to refocus on sorting out issues and bugs that are in the game at the moment, and some that have been in the game for a long time. Hopefully that's going to include the nav panel. I'm going to take that one anyway. And as a result of them focusing on doing that, which apparently is going to take several months by the look of this, the fleet carriers will be delayed until Q2. Now, this on the surface sounds like disappointing, which it is, and an excuse for people to rant and rave and be mad at Frontier. But let's just take a look at this a little bit deeper. Firstly, they're going to be releasing updates, the first of which will be coming in December, but will not be including the fleet carriers. And they're going to be releasing those every 3 to 4 months. So I think we can be expecting the fleet carriers on the third update. If I've got my maths right, we've got the December update, and then in 3 months' time we'll get another one. And then by the time we're ready for the next one, in 3 to 4 months, that will be Q2. So if it goes that way, we'll have to see. The good thing about this, these updates, is that they will come with public betas. Yes, well, that's good, because they should be bringing public betas back so that we ourselves can be voluntary guinea pigs and find the bugs for them to fix. Now, it might seem like we're doing their work for them, but this is, I think, the best way to find the bugs, rather than having Frontier release an update and then have everybody complain later on because it's got this bug here and that bug there. I back public betas. I said in a few videos ago that public betas should come back to try and prevent bugs either slipping by the developers or bugs that don't get seen in-house but only get seen when they're out in the public. So I think that's a good thing. Now, as I said, it's easy to look at this message and say, well, let me get angry at Frontier now, because here's another promise that's fallen through. And yeah, you may be right to look at it that way. But if I can suggest another way to look at it, is by doing it this way, by addressing bugs and issues first, and let's get it clear, if they're going to do it this way around, they've got to make a good job of fixing these issues and bugs. They've got to do that. They can't leave any major ones out. If you're going to focus on it and get it sorted, because it does make more sense to fix all the bugs first and then bring in the new content of the fleet carriers into a game that has less bugs in it, because it's possible that if you bring the fleet carriers in too early, which is a major content update and probably has a lot of new mechanics to go with it, if you introduce that into a game that already has bugs, I mean, there may be bugs spawning from the fleet carrier update because of the existing bugs. So it makes sense to tidy up the game first and then bring in the update. You know, it's like moving house and then you move all your furniture in first and then you hoover the carpets. I know that's a stupid example, but yeah, you would hoover the carpets first and then bring the furniture in, right? Make the room clean, then bring in the content. So logically, this from a logical point of view, this makes more sense. Of course, I know Q2 2020 seems like so far away, and it is. It is. I mean, we are just into Q4 of 2019, so we've got 2 more Qs to go after this one. 2 more quarters. But don't look at the whole message and just take from it fleet carriers not coming till 2020, because it's not all about that. And I think, and this might be a bit controversial, but I think if you are one of those players who has at some point complained either to Frontier or to somebody else or indirectly, whatever, about, oh, why not Frontier fix this bug? It's been there for years. Or why don't Frontier fix that bug? It's been there since blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't think you can complain too much about this news of today, because now you're going to get your wish. But as I said, Frontier are going to have to address the long-standing issues, and they're going to have to try and not leave any out, really. So they're going to have to be sifting through the issue tracker, which, is it even there anymore? I mean, the problem at the moment I see is the current way to submit bugs into the forum is not as it was. There used to be, on the forum, there used to be a section for entering bug reports, and that's gone. So it's harder for players they're going to have to put that back into the forum, I think, because this roundabout way of filling up a ticket and sending it off, it's too long-winded, it's too clumsy. You know, you've got to find where to go. It's not immediately obvious, I don't think. And I think the bug tracking sub-forum was the best way. And also, by doing that, having it on the forum, it lets people know that they don't have to submit their bug report if somebody's already done it. And you can add to their bug report and say, yes, you know, I came across this bug as well. So they really have to put that back into the forum, in my opinion. I don't even know why they took it out in the first place, but for sure they've got to fix the long-standing bugs, and then with the December update, no doubt there'll be newer bugs. I'm assuming that there's going to be an open beta to the December update, so we'll probably get that maybe at the beginning of that month. But while the delay of the fleet carriers is disappointing, there's no question it is, most people have been mining their ass off trying to get credits to afford one of these, only to realize now that they've got quite a lot more time on their hands in order to do that. So, okay, it's a question of which is more important, getting the bugs fixed in the game or new content. Now, some of you are going to say new content, but come on, seriously, we do have to get the bugs fixed. Now, for me, In my everyday gaming of Elite Dangerous, I don't really come across that many, certainly not any showstoppers. For me, the most annoying bug is the navigation panel. And there's a couple of issues with the nav panel for me. And that is simply that when you are in a system and you're about to jump, you see, this is the local star, which is right at the top of the list. And if I come down, let's say there's, I don't know, say 10 system or 10 entries here. I know that's a silly number, but 10. And I keep it there and maybe I lock on. And then I decide, you know what, I'm just going to jump somewhere. Let's go to BENQ. So we'll lock onto there. As soon as we do the jump, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, hyper jump. And then we jump back in and we go back in here. And this orange bar is just randomly placed anywhere down that list. And if you want to get back to the closest objects again, you have to whiz back up to the top. I don't think it does it every single time, but it does do it. And it's a pain. And this is something that's happened since the September update, because it always used to be the case that every time you hyper jumped, the list would be reset back at the top again, which is where you want it. You don't need it, you know. After jumping, you don't want it down here. You know, because you go, oh, I know you can go down and loop scroll. Can you? Yeah, you can loop scroll, which is really good. The other thing with the nav panel is if you're mining or if you are in combat and you want to pick up materials, the materials tend to be, say, at the bottom of the list, and the list's constantly jumping up and down as items are getting closer and further away. Now, so let's say you come down and you focus on heat conduction, heat wiring or whatever. Why did I pick that one? Conductive polymers, right? So you're trying to, there's conductive polymers at second from the bottom. You come down and as you're moving, see like this, the list is constantly jiggling around and you can't keep focus on it. You know, look, it's just, it's the same with the ships. You think, right, I want to target that transporter. And if you're on the move, since something else is going to jump in front, and it's hard to get a lock on it sometimes. And the way it jumps around, it can be a real pain in the backside, especially when you have a load of contacts on there and a load of materials to pick up. So my suggestion there would be to have a fourth tab right here called materials or items or whatever, and you can go into there. So the contacts is ships only. Ships, maybe, I don't know, maybe the wake should be on a separate tab as well. But maybe just have the ships and the stations in this panel, and then another tab for wakes and materials, things that can be picked up or scanned, and just have a fourth tab and keep them separate. Or in the contacts, have a line after all the ships for the materials and make sure that they can't move. You know, I really don't know. I don't know how you would solve that. But that's the only bug that I come across daily that annoys me. I know there are other bugs in the game, but none of them have been showstoppers for me. So, but I'm sure Frontier have a considerable list of issues and bugs that have been reported that they still have to go through. And clearly they've made the decision to focus on those, and once they've hoovered up a load of those bugs, then by the time the fleet carriers are ready to come in, then the game will be in a much more tidier and organized state, hopefully. And no doubt the fleet carrier update will bring its own issues, will bring its own bugs, and they're going to be easier to sort and fix, you would imagine, by way of the fact that they've already removed a lot of the previous bugs in the first place, so it's going to be probably easier to get those sorted. So my opinion on this originally was, just reading it at face value, that we're not getting the fleet carriers. I thought, oh, here we go again, another delay. But as much as I wanted to see the fleet carriers, I do understand that it does make sense. I can't argue with it. What they're doing here makes sense. It's a rational way to go about it. And let's be honest, it's a long time coming. Some of these could have been done along with the September update, perhaps. I don't know. But yes, so, okay, we have to wait a while, but don't be too angry at Frontier and don't be too disappointed. I am disappointed, of course, but I can wait for the fleet carriers. I'm not in an immediate rush. It would have been nice to have some new content so that I can show it on my streams and my videos. So from my perspective, I was really wanting this new content to come out, because I'm desperate to show some new stuff. But still, I'm prepared to hold off if they get everything sorted. But they have to get everything sorted. That's the only upshot for me. If you're going to do this and delay the content until Q2 and refocus on bugs, you've got to squash as many of them as you can. You really do. And guys, if you know of bugs just that haven't been reported, or you don't know if they've been reported, get them in. Let Frontier know, get them in, because you don't get to complain about it later. If you spotted a legitimate bug and it doesn't get sorted, you don't get to complain afterwards, because unless you have submitted it and it got ignored. But yeah, I'm going to be submitting the one about the nav panel, which I've already done once, but I don't know whether that's going to get addressed. But yeah, Frontier, if you're listening, bring back the bug reporting subforum so that users can put the bugs from the upcoming updates in there, and we can all see what's going on and try these ourselves, or see what everybody else is reporting on. And I think that's a better way for everybody. So there you go, fleet carriers Q2 2020, but they'll be coming out once a load of bugs have been killed. Talking of bug killing, I've got a Thargoid to deal with. See you later, guys.